General Secretary and I just shared earlier today, this trip has been a historic moment. Today, we can trace 50-year arc of progress in the relationship between our nations from conflict to normalization.
Hello, and welcome to China Record. In early September 2023, President Joe Biden visited Vietnam and was warmly welcomed by Vietnamese President Nguyen Phuc and Prime Minister Pham Chinh. During their joint press conference, they announced a historic decision to elevate the bilateral relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership. This is a significant development for both countries as it marks a new level of cooperation and trust between them. However, this could also be a cause of concern for China, which has been increasing its assertiveness in the South China Sea and other areas. It's difficult to predict how China would react to this scenario, but it's possible that they might view this as an attempt by the US to hold China's influence in the region. Even though US denies Cold War with China in historic Vietnam visit, this could lead to further tensions between the two countries and potentially even military conflict. However, it's also possible that China might see this as an opportunity to improve its own relationship with Vietnam and work towards a more peaceful resolution of the disputes in the South China Sea. Only time will tell how this situation will play out. The benefits of the upgrade for Vietnam and the United States. The upgrade would bring various benefits for both Vietnam and the United States, as it would enhance their cooperation on areas of mutual interest and concern. For example, the upgrade would improve Vietnam's defense capabilities by allowing it to access more advanced U.S. defense equipment and technology, such as F-16 fighter jets, P-8 maritime patrol planes, and missile defense systems. This would help Vietnam strengthen its deterrence and defense against potential threats from China or other actors in the region. The upgrade would also boost Vietnam's maritime security by increasing the frequency and scope of joint naval exercises, patrols, and port visits between the two countries. This would help Vietnam safeguard its sovereignty and interests in the South China Sea, where it faces territorial disputes and harassment from China. The upgrade would also enhance Vietnam's regional influence by supporting its participation in regional and global institutions, such as the ASEAN Regional Forum, the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, and the United Nations. This would help Vietnam promote its voice and role in shaping the regional order and addressing common challenges such as climate change, pandemic response, and human rights. The upgrade would also create more economic opportunities for Vietnam by expanding the trade and investment ties between the two countries, especially in sectors such as energy, infrastructure, digital economy, and innovation. This would help Vietnam diversify its markets and sources of growth and reduce its dependence on China. U.S. and Vietnam's relationship. The current relationship between the United States and Vietnam is one of friendship, cooperation, and partnership. The two countries have overcome their past conflicts and established diplomatic relations in 1995. Since then, they have developed a comprehensive partnership that covers political, economic, security, and people-to-people ties. Some of the highlights of their relationship are: the United States is one of Vietnam's largest trading partners and investors, with bilateral trade reaching $90.8 billion in 2020. The two countries are also members of the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTP, a free trade agreement among 11 Pacific Rim countries. The United States and Vietnam share a common interest in keeping peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region, especially in the South China Sea, where they support the freedom of navigation and overflight, the peaceful resolution of disputes, and the adherence to international law. The two countries have enhanced their security and defense cooperation through regular dialogues, joint exercises, port calls, training, and arms sales. The United States and Vietnam cooperate on various global issues such as health, climate change, energy, human rights, education, and humanitarian assistance. The United States has provided more than $1.8 billion in health aid to Vietnam since 2005, including $13 million to support its response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The two countries also work together to address the legacy of war, such as the recovery of missing personnel, the removal of unexploded ordnance, and the remediation of Agent Orange contamination. The United States and Vietnam have strong cultural and educational ties. With more than 30,000 Vietnamese students studying in the United States and more than 1,200 American students studying in Vietnam in 2019. The two countries also have numerous exchange programs, such as the Fulbright Program, the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative, ISELI, and the International Visitor Leadership Program, IVLP, that foster mutual understanding and collaboration among their people. The challenges of the upgrade for China. Vietnam and the United States upgrade their relationship to a strategic partnership. This would be a big deal for both countries, as it would mark a new level of cooperation and trust between them. But it would also be a big headache for China, as it would face many challenges and threats from this closer alignment. How would China react to this scenario? Let's explore some of the possible implications. First, China would feel more insecure about its territorial claims in the South China Sea, where it has been building islands and bases to assert its dominance. A strategic partnership between Vietnam and the United States would mean more U.S. military presence and activity in the area, as well as more support for Vietnam's legal and diplomatic efforts to challenge China's claims. China would see this as a provocation and a violation of its sovereignty and might respond with more aggression and intimidation. Second, China would face more competition and friction for its economic interests in the region, where it has been investing heavily in infrastructure projects under its Belt and Road Initiative, and where it seeks to expand its market access and influence. A strategic partnership between Vietnam and the United States would create more opportunities and incentives for trade and investment between them, which have grown rapidly in recent years. It would also encourage Vietnam to join other U.S.-led initiatives such as the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, which aim to create high-standard rules and norms for trade and commerce. China would see this as a challenge and a threat to its economic interests, and might respond with more pressure and coercion. Third, China would lose some of its political influence in the region, where it has tried to cultivate friendly relations with ASEAN countries and other partners, and where it has sought to shape the regional order according to its preferences and values. A strategic partnership between Vietnam and the United States would strengthen the U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy, which aims to promote a free and open region based on rules and norms. It would also erode China's ideological legitimacy in the region, where it has promoted its model of authoritarian development as an alternative to Western democracy and liberalism. China would see this as a challenge and a threat to its political influence, and might respond with more propaganda and persuasion. The implications of the upgrade for regional peace and stability. The upgrade would have significant implications for regional peace and stability in Southeast Asia, as it would alter the balance of power and influence among the major actors in the region. For instance, the upgrade would impact the relations among Vietnam, China, the United States, and other regional actors such as ASEAN, Japan, India, Australia, etc. The upgrade would create more opportunities for regional cooperation on various issues such as maritime security, trade integration, human rights promotion, etc., as it would enhance the U.S. role and presence in the region, and as it would encourage Vietnam to play a more active and constructive role in regional affairs. The upgrade would also create more challenges for regional conflict resolution on various issues such as territorial disputes, economic competition, political interference, etc., as it would increase the tensions and mistrust between China and the U.S.-Vietnam partnership, and as it would complicate the balance of interests and preferences among other regional actors. The upgrade would therefore require more dialogue and diplomacy among all the relevant parties to manage their differences and avoid escalation or confrontation. My theory. The Vietnam-U.S. partnership upgrade is a major development in the regional dynamics of Southeast Asia, as it reflects the growing convergence of interests and values between the two former adversaries, and as it poses a new challenge for China, which has been increasing its assertiveness in the region. President Joe Biden has denied that the U.S. is attempting to stem China's international influence after signing a new historic deal with Vietnam. More than 50 years since the last American soldier left Vietnam, Mr. Biden traveled to Hanoi to sign the agreement that will bring the former foes closer than ever before. The upgrade would bring various benefits for both Vietnam and the United States, such as enhancing their defense capabilities, maritime security, regional influence, economic opportunities, and human rights situation. The upgrade would also present various challenges for China, such as threatening its territorial claims, economic interests, political influence, and ideological legitimacy. The upgrade would have significant implications for regional peace and stability, as it would alter the balance of power and influence among the major actors in the region, and as it would create more opportunities and challenges for regional cooperation and conflict resolution. Therefore, it is important for all the relevant parties to manage their relations in a way that promotes regional peace and stability. Vietnam, China, the United States, and other regional actors should engage in more dialogue and diplomacy to address their differences and avoid escalation or confrontation. They should also seek to cooperate on common issues and challenges such as climate change, pandemic response, human rights promotion, etc. They should also respect each other's interests and preferences, and uphold the rules and norms of the regional order. The Vietnam-US partnership upgrade could be a positive force for the region if it is handled with prudence and wisdom.